Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Psych Investigator. So, this is the protection. I have my here the pyramid. I like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources. That I create the good and only the good, and so it is. All right. So guys, wow, there was a lot to discuss today. I don't know how you're feeling, but I've been feeling kind of weird today. I feel good. I mean, kind of well, no, I said I feel weird, then I feel good. What I mean by that is this feeling of waiting for something, or that our lives are stuck, or how can we proceed? How can we move forward when we're dealing with the things we're dealing with? And actually, I wrote here. So I just want to have that quick question that is unrelated to the news, but it's interesting. So the search for happiness and meaning in the midst of everything we've been dealing with. So that's what it feels like. In a way, I feel like I have the energy and I'm doing things that I have to do. But there's like the bigger picture sometimes gets lost, or maybe it's just today. So I want to ask this question. Tell the spirit, tell me about the search for happiness and meaning in the midst of everything we have been dealing with collectively. It's saying that it's a time of faith because it's saying just do the day to day, the things you have to do, the tasks, and the simple things that are not necessarily exciting. Reaffirm community and know that those things that you want are coming to pass. The thing that creates unhappiness and stress is the continuous question why and when? Why is this or that happening? Why, blah, blah, blah? Because your ego or your youngest self, let's say, wants things a certain way. And when they don't happen, you'll start to get anxious and sad and frustrated. But the way around it is to ask yourself, is this meant for me? Is this the thing I want, or the outcome I want, the best outcome for me? And if not, show me the way. And then let it go and focus on the day to day. Because, of course, the same, of course, Rosie, people like you and the people that watch your channel wants things to change. And when you look at how much you're affected by Trash and his actions, it's frustrating. But you have to create your life no matter what and focus on the things you want. And if they're not happening exactly when or what you wanted in the way you wanted, just know that you have to experience it in yourself in meditation and then let it go. But that as long as you have the ability to create that experience for yourself inside of yourself, then you're okay. And it's like in a way, it's a matter of time, but also you have to learn how to live, quote unquote, as if. So don't wait for your life to change in a specific way, just live it. And then things will catch up with you. Because if you try to control or predict all the things you want to happen in your life, it will only bring sadness because life is unpredictable in a lot of ways, even for people like me. So, okay. All right. So let's go. Hey ho, let's go. It was interesting. All right, so let's go. Let's send the energy to everyone watching because this is a weird time. Because it does feel sometimes, guys, as if we are in some sort of prison because we're waiting for something to happen. We're like, this is a reality that's not ours, right? But saying it's like a storm. This too shall pass. Nothing lasts forever. Okay. All right. So there's some interesting developments. Okay. So let's look at that. Let's look at that. So Supreme Court rejects Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal. The longtime Jeffrey Epstein confidant had asked the High Court to take up her challenge to her sex trafficking conviction. So it is what it is, right? It's pretty simple. Let's see here. Uh, the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday declined to hear an appeal from Ghislaine Maxwell, the Jeffrey Epstein confidant, who's currently serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking. The court didn't give a reason for the denial, which leaves intact a federal appeals court ruling that upheld Maxwell's conviction. Maxwell, 63 years old, has emerged as a key figure in the White House's effort to quell the clamor for the release of information related to Epstein, who died in jail while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. The Justice Department asked a judge to release materials from the grand jury investigations into her and Epstein, but those requests were denied. Okay, so having read that, um, let's look into what is going on, because to me, this is significant for Trump. He's going to have some sort of reaction to this. And because she could do something, it's interesting. It's pretty unpredictable here, I think, in terms of his behavior, right? Like she could do something, and I think she will. Remember how it was the Epstein estate that it released a lot of information with the birthday. Remember the birthday book? So let's see what happens next. What happens now that this what is going to happen here? Trump, and she's like, no, I'm talking. I'm saying, I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk, Donald. I'm going to talk, Donald. I told you, you'd better be quiet, Donald. Quiet. Not quiet. I know who you are. I've given you all the chances in the world, Donald. So what does she say? It's saying I see that she has documents and I see photos with the girls. Wow, could she release something? It's saying yes. Wow. Oh, interesting. Wow. So could yes. And I see, guys, I wasn't really not, I don't know what I was expecting, but not this necessarily. So I see her doing this gesture, looking at Putin, being like, yep, time to do it. So, so she could release information, yes, yes. But Trump is like, shh, no. And I see that there's people who have information and they were told. I see her giving information, like speaking in some sort of code that people who listen to what she has to say will understand. And that code means you can go ahead and release it. So, wow. And then I see Trump. Like I had seen this image before, Trump as if he's the tower card in tarot. So wow, interesting. Wow. So that's big, huh? All right. So that's it. That's it. Okay. All right. That's it for this part. Wow. Yeah. So that's right. I see that it tells me that she's not going to take it silently. And at the same time, I see the image of Mike Johnson not wanting uh, to let the person who was elected in the special election be sworn in because she's going to vote to release that. But eventually, I see that this compounds this decision about Ghislaine Maxwell compounds with Trump shutting the government, and then I see this snowball, the thing explode, like getting this tension. Like imagine an avalanche of things like rolling down, and then boom, it's getting stronger. It's not getting weaker, and it's saying yes, he can't stop this avalanche from happening, and it will bury him, and also J Vance. So that's what I get. Interesting, because let's say the truth has to come out no matter what. And she wants, it's not that Ghislaine Maxwell wants revenge, it's that she thinks if I have to pay the price, so do it. So does everybody else that is involved in this. So interesting. Interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next subject. So prosecutor resists Trump pressure to criminally charge New York AG James, MSNBC. A top federal prosecutor in Virginia is resisting pressure from President Donald Trump to seek criminal indictments of New York Attorney General Letitia James, MSNBC reported. The prosecutor, Elizabeth UC, works in the U.S. Attorney's Office, Eastern District of Virginia, which recently obtained an indictment of another target of Trump's ire, ex-FBI Director James Comey. Okay. UC, who oversees major criminal prosecutions in the Norfolk office of the Eastern District of Virginia, has confided to coworkers that she sees no probable cause to believe James engaged in mortgage fraud. The two sources told MSNBC, according to MSNBC's reports. UC plans to present her conclusion to the president's new interim U.S. attorney, Lindsay Halligan, in the coming weeks, they said, MSNBC reported. Halligan was installed in the job by Trump after her predecessor, Eric Ziebert, resigned under pressure from Trump after opposing the filing of charges against Comey. Okay, so what's going to happen next? And as you guys know, back in the day, I met her in when I belonged to this a whole other working space called the Wing that was for women only, and she went there and gave a lecture, and she gave me two hugs because I was crying. It's amazing. This is not amazing because she gave me hugs, but I remember this is good. Okay. Anyway, so what is going to happen, guys? You see all the sirens around. So what's going to happen here? She's like, shh. She's like, and I see Trump, oh, almost as if he's going to get ready to make a statement, and she's waiting, and it doesn't come because there's no there. So, but this person, as the article said, Trump's U.S. attorney, the one who looks like she really does look like a model, but she has zero experience in any of this, and she's the one who indicted Comey. So what is happening here? It's why, yes, it's interesting. I see that it's not happening to her, to Letitia James. For some reason, I don't see it happening at all. Nothing like Comey. That he's going to get upset because he wants revenge, right? For everybody who went after him, rightfully so. And you know what I get? I mean, I still, who somebody who's not being prosecuted right now is what's his name? Merrick Garland. Like, where is he? Right? Because he didn't dare. It still upsets. I don't want to get there, but it's very upsetting still, because I know I rant sometimes about this. There's no excuse for this. Every single time where they let it go is how it got to this point. Okay, so whoever decided not to when they could, because Letitia James did her job, and when it was other people, right, who didn't, and who decided to, oh, just take it easy, blah blah, blah, and here we are. So actually, what's going to happen to Letitia James? The cases that she prosecuted against Trump, she will win. She will see her vindication. Her vindication meaning justice being done, right? She's not going to give up, is what I see. When he goes, the thing returns. So the prosecution, the cases return. Even though I think they were dismissed, there's a lot that has to change, guys. It goes back to what Kamala said. The system is broken. It's going to be fixed eventually once things change again. All right, so okay, and then I got a message saying, Rosie, you have to remember, nothing lasts forever. This too shall pass. And it's showing us what needs to be taken apart and rebuilt, and it's most of the system. So let's go to the next question. Now, this topic, somebody had left. Sometimes I would get these comments, and I didn't know where they were coming from. And it's the story of the 17 trillion. I'm like, what the hell is that? Because as you know, I only go by, I really need information like from articles. to go by, right? To look into things. So where is this missing $17 trillion? Lawmaker says Trump must reveal what he's done with new investment bonanza he keeps boasting about. And of course, I think it's just completely made up. It's reminding me of the story of remember when the tech people went to the White House and Zuckerberg made up some number and then he was caught on mic saying, "Hey, I just want to check with you. That was just a figure. I just figured it'd be okay with that figure. Like just make it up." So, but let's look at the article and then let me ask the question directly a little bit after this. Oh, let's go after. All right, so Democrats may investigate President Trump over his repeated claims that a 17 trillion flood of foreign and domestic investment has poured into the US during this administration. Trump has boasted that the supposed investment has been sparked by companies expanding operations or moving business to the US after he imposed a raft of global tariffs. Donald Trump is living in a fantasy world, Representative Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the House of Oversight Committee, said Thursday in an interview with Midas Touch. If there is 17 trillion somewhere, the government doesn't know about it. None of our committees have access to it. Treasury has no idea what the hell he's talking about. He's either a liar or he's somehow stashed away money in some magical way, and there's even more corruption happening. Okay. Trump said, "Why are we in a shutdown?" Eric Swalwell said. Trump says the US has taken in 17 trillion since he became president. Where's the money? Why haven't you gotten a check? So the question is, what is this figure? Okay, so it shows me a bunny out of a magician hat. Like, oh, it's a 17. It's saying that he picked that number because that sounds unbelievable. It's sort of like a magical number because now everybody is billions are easy. What about trillions? He thought to himself. So he just made it up. It doesn't exist, and it does not refer to any. It doesn't refer to any particular payment. It's just like a. It's like a scammer thing. Oh, wait, $17 trillion. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go. So that's it. So that's the answer. It's all made up. Okay. All right. Okay, so Laura Loomer is starting against MAGA stalwarts. Now, I've never really looked into this one. Maybe I have once or twice, but now that I'm also subscribing to the Wall Street Journal, sometimes they have these off, random, not random, like pieces like this. And this is an interesting figure just because she's strange. I mean, other than though she looks like the Jigsaw character in a horror movie. It's not about how she looks, but the point is that she's a strange character, truly. And that it looks as if she definitely has relationships with some sort of foreign intelligence country or something, but she's fighting with Tucker Carlson and others. So what's going on here? What's the story and what is going to happen to her? So let's read the article. Laura Loomer is turning against MAGA stalwarts. The Trump loyalist is fighting with Tucker Carlson as some White House officials have grown concerned about her influence. President Trump confident Laura Loomer has successfully campaigned for the ouster of more than a dozen national security officials and others she has accused of secretly working against the president's Make America Great Again agenda. Now she is training her considerable firepower inside the MAGA tent. In recent weeks, the right-wing conspiracy theorist has gone after former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, dubbing him Tucker Carlson, who's being quote-unquote bought off by the Muslim Brotherhood. It's funny, I'm sorry. And attacking his son who works for President J.D. Vance. She has accused Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene of funneling government money to her own daughter and called her a loudmouth bitch. She has said that Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, whose wife was killed by a suicide bomber, was soft on terrorism. They can attack me all they want. I am more America first than them, Loomer said in an interview. adding that she believes she faced targeting herself because she's Jewish. The 32-year-old self-styled journalist with 1.8 million followers on X and twice weekly podcast, Loomer Unleashed, has emerged as a powerful figure in Trump's second term, speaking to the president in the evening when she calls and telling him who she thinks is disloyal to him, according to people familiar with the conversations. White House officials have grown tired of posts and Loomer's efforts to work around them, several administration officials said. Top administration officials have launched a hunt to try to find out what motivates her posts and attacks. The official said on Wednesday she claimed that Nicholas Waitovich, a U.S. Army official, was fired because she had identified him as the creator of Red Dot, an app that tracks ICE officials. An Army official said Waitovich is suspended and under investigation. I don't work for the administration and I don't control hiring, said Loomer. I am posting facts. Okay. Several posts outside her usual national security interests, including a campaign against a Food and Drug Administration official and push for the administration to approve a drilling license off the coast of Venezuela, raised particular concerns at the White House, according to administration officials. Loomer has denied taking money for specific posts. She has continued to receive funding from ideologically motivated donors who believe anti-Trump Democrats remain in national security roles, and others with politically aligned interests, according to people familiar with the matter. Loomer had sought a job in the Trump White House, but officials didn't hire her, and she has since turned to seeking a press credential to cover the White House, according to people familiar with the matter. The credential hasn't yet materialized. She compiles and pitches opposition research under the consulting firm Loomer Strategies. Okay. So, okay. So now, what the hell's up with this woman? What's going to happen to her? What is she doing? It shows me that she's sort of no, sort of, she's a grifter like a lot of them, and that she models herself after somebody like, what's that blonde woman? Ann Coulter. It's like, she wants to be respected. Uh, so, oh my God, I should be, yeah. Guys, I have to be honest with you. As you know, I asked myself earlier today because I was feeling kind of down and everything, that I'm looking into her. I'm like, I should be like, that's my character. I say this many times, but eventually this character will be born and I'll create her because I think that's what she wants. Listen, listen. No, those people, they don't have your best interest in mind. They want to give birth to the child of the devil. They want to boil me alive. Oh, they do. Huh, you bet they do. They do. And you have to seek my rule first because I know what it means. Only I know what really matters here. Okay? Only I know who cares about me enough. So, so I see that it's based, obviously it's an ego-based thing. It's a job for her that she is in fact, of course, representing, there's 2 or 3 people that pay her to do this. And she's basically milking her influence. So she's not saying the difference is that Ann Coulter is, it's weird to say that she's independent. Like she went to law school, she has her own beliefs. She's also crazy, but Laura Loomer wants to make decisions, specific decisions, and is telling me this. Rosie, Ann Coulter may have been powerful during the Clinton administration. Maybe was she? Was she around? I don't know. But that's what I'm getting. But she's saying she wants to be this harsh. I want to be a harsh goddess. People are going to respect me. They're going to be afraid of me. But it's saying she's just a grifter who's basically making money off of being an extremist. And that Trump likes her because of this, because she is controversial enough that he can use her. That's how he thinks. I mean, she uses him too, but it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Okay, so and he likes that. He thinks she has good instincts. So what is going to happen to her? Okay, so then I see her. You know the Scooby Doo thing where they pull the like the bag off of the person's head, and you figure out who's paying her, and it's just a grift, and she will go when they all go. Is she? I wonder. She could be charged. I feel like she could be charged with something like working for a government, for foreign governments or foreigners. Uh, I think she. I think some of these billionaires pay her. Uh, so, but still, she needs to be clear about who she is, because it's saying she's a lobbyist also. So, and that's saying that's the case of the Venezuela thing, right? By the way, the Venezuela thing, guys, let me actually ask. No, it's a distraction. And I don't think the military wants to attack Venezuela because there's no real reason for it, right? They want to change the government there and everything, but it's just such a BS distraction given everything else that's going on, right? So, okay. So let's continue here. Okay, so this is an interesting, it's not a footnote, but you probably have heard of this guy, Curtis. Yeah. Oh my God, look at him. He looks like, oh my God, look at his hair. This is a Nazi guy. Rosiana Dana. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say about this guy. He reminds me of a get up, get on up, James Brown, his hair. But James Brown had better hair. Get up, get on up. Get up, get on up. Stay on the scene like a sex machine. Dun, 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 dun. And look at the outfit. Look at this. It's like, what was it? Remember? Austin Powers? Is that right? My God, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. He's a Nazi, really. Panicked Curtis Yarvin, J.D. Vance's guru, plans to flee USA. I feel that I personally have to start thinking realistically about how to flee the country, because it's not, according to him, Trump is not Nazi enough. Oh my God, look at him. He's very, very cute. Just kidding. Good news. Curtis Yarvin, the anti-American dark enlightenment guru, credited as the philosopher behind J.D. Vance and his couch obsession, just kidding, believes that Trump administration is doomed to fail. Fearing retribution from a future Democratic administration, a terrified Yarvin declared on October 5th that he is already planning to flee the country. The second Trump revolution, like the first, is failing, he said. It is failing because it deserves to fail. It is failing because it spends all its time patting itself on the back. It's failing because its true mission, which neither it nor still less its supporters understand, is still as far beyond its reach as algebra is beyond a cat. Because the vengeance meted out after its failure will dwarf the vengeance after 2020, because the successes of the second revolution are so much greater than the first. I feel that I personally have to start realistically thinking about how to flee the country. Everyone else in a similar position should have a 2029 plan as well, and it is not even clear that it will wait until 2029. Losing the Congress will instantly put the administration on the defensive. He later edited the essay to remove the "I personally have to start thinking realistically about how to flee the country" line. So what's interesting is that this is the guy, right, that he doesn't have power really, in the sense that he doesn't have money. Like, he's basically some pseudo intellectual guy that Peter Thiel likes, and that's his claim to fame, right? And he said good things about Hitler, and it was a long story of his thoughts, his ideas. But the point is that he is thinking that this isn't working hard. It's not bad enough for him. And apparently he lives in some nice house in Berkeley. Berkeley is a really nice, It's right. It's San Francisco, right there. It's beautiful. So he lives there and he complains about it. It's so. This is like the thing that I don't understand about these people. If you hate it so much, why do you live there? Right? It's like you enjoy all the benefits of a liberal society and yet you complain about it. So anyway, but something else here that he's saying, Yarvin doesn't think Trump has the guts to pull off a full fascist nightmare. Instead, he casts the administration's actions as merely performative stunts with no lasting impact. They look tough. They're doing something. They are not even doing the 0.01% of what you would take to solve the problem. That is at much more risk to themselves. The most they could probably do is 0.00% matters not. So anyway, so I think this is a really interesting thing that this guy is saying because it comes off as a totally very cowardly, which he is. But but I think it's interesting. Why is this guy saying that? What does this mean? Is this psychic? Just kidding. He's saying he knows Rosie. Yes, he could be a psychic in a way. Saying he knows. He knows that because those people would their dream is to have a population that is afraid, and the population is not afraid. We're upset, we're angry, but we're not afraid, technically. I think some people are afraid. It is upsetting, but we'll continue to do the things that we have been doing. And I see that because interesting, because he's not as wealthy as the others. He's middle class, I guess, probably relative to the others. He doesn't have the money to insulate himself like the others do. And he knows that he's disposable ultimately. So, and that he's not serious enough because there are a lot of people on the right. There are some of them, they're relatively serious, right? And some of them are like on the bulwark and all that. But he's not taken seriously by anybody other than Peter Thiel and those guys and JD Vance. So, so that's the story here. And I when I replied to this, I said that apparently, so he was on Twitter, and I said, "Why don't we move to Russia, bro?" I have a question. Why isn't Curtis Yarvin? And I was like, "No, that's horrible over there. I don't know who don't live there. He knows what it's like. He's saying he's aware of it, and it's saying he just doesn't want to lose the privileges that he has in his current life. He doesn't want to move out of California, but he will need to have lawyers because when the investigations happen and there's all these text and messaging and all that, he's going to have uh, to respond. To be fair, I mean, he's not like the people that are behind it. Peter Thiel is the bad person. JD Vance is a bad person because he's in the government doing this. This is the ideologue, right? So in a way I wouldn't say he's benign, but he is like is an intellectual, right? So does it make sense? I don't even think he's like because Bannon is also an intellectual, but Bannon is organizing things. He remember how Bannon had the castle in Italy or something? So he was kicked out of the castle. He was ordered to leave the country or something like that. So so anyway, so this guy, so he's correct, and he's correct that the bros, because they're so rich, they don't think anything is going to happen to them because they have multiple passports, citizenships, and such. But it's saying they haven't calculated that now that they have destroyed, as like destroyed democracy, or they worked really hard to do it. It's going to come out. They have to steal the votes to lie about the voting process. Then then does it make sense? Like they have no idea what's going to happen because they've never had to face consequences, and they live a life so above our lives in terms of material comforts, right? But they thought they were. It's like they'd say it's a Greek tragedy. People that had a lot of privileges decided to ignore the fact that these were privileges, and they thought they're entitled to more. And then they found that there's limits to everything. So he's correct. He's correct. So okay. So I have a question. So apparently JD Vance likes him. What's gonna happen to JD Vance? Is he gonna get? I'm just asking, just to double check here. Is JD Vance set to take over as vice president? Saying yeah, he's prepared. But I see the chairs being pulled from under him, so it suggests that it may not actually happen. So we'll see. Okay. All right, guys. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye.